All right, Baltimore City Council Ways and Means Committee, we're here for Council Bill 23-0452, Supplemental General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty Related Arts and Culture in the amount of $581,334. Mayor Costello, Councilman from the 11th District, Chair of the Committee, joined to my left by Councilman Robert Stokes, 12th District, Vice Chair of the Committee, and to my far right, Council Vice President Sharon Green Middleton, 6th District, member of the committee. Also joined by Councilwoman Odette Ramos, 14th District. To my immediate right is Marguerite Curran, staff to the committee. Also joined by representatives from Mayor Brandon Sky and Council President Nick Mosby's office. We have bill reports. Let's start off with Law Department, approved for form and legal sufficiency.
That is correct.
Thank you. Department of Finance.
Laura Larson, Department of Finance, we stand by the bill response that was submitted.
And I didn't have favorable.
Oh, favorable.
Thank you very much. Department of General Services.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Dominic McLilly from the Mayor's Office of Government Relations. DGS stands by the report.
Thank you very much. Board of Estimates, this has been approved. Tanya, I'll turn it over to you if you want to provide any remarks, and then we can transition into BOPA. Are you good? No remarks. That works. We don't need a microphone for that. Thank you. Todd, we will turn it over to you. I'm going to ask you to talk about the progress that BOPA has made. If you can start off by introducing the members of your team that are here, name and position. And I know we're going to have a discussion about some of the progress made with respect to board governance. And my understanding is you're going to turn it over to a board member to discuss that part. Yes. Take it away.
Good morning. My name is Todd Uhanic, the interim CEO of Baltimore Office of Promotion in the Arts. I'm joined here by Andrew, one of our newer board members. I have Jamel, our head of HR. I have Brian Wentz, our CFO, and we are here to discuss the progress we've made. In terms of BOPA's organization and what we've done to provide for the city, we've announced the dates for Artscape 2024 in the last month. We have planned for New Year's Eve celebration with the mayor's office. We're going to have both a drone show as well as a fireworks show, so we're really excited about that. We are working with the mayor's office to bring back the MLK parade in conjunction with the mayor's office and Baltimore Office of Promotion. So I'm really proud that we're back on that. I've worked with Waverly Book Festival to propose dates, and we will be announcing the new dates for the Baltimore Book Festival in the coming weeks. So I think we are back on track with our duties to serve the city of Baltimore and the citizens of Baltimore to provide great world-class events. With that, Andrew and the governance team has been working, so I'm going to turn it over to him to give an update on the progress.
Great, thanks, Todd. Good morning, Andrew Chavis. I'm currently the secretary of BOPA's board, and again, a recent addition to the board about 8 months ago. In regards to governance, and you'll excuse me, I have some notes here. We have engaged a specialized board governance consultant, and they've helped us to make some recommendations of a best practice approach for robust oversight for the Baltimore Office of Promotion of Arts and our capabilities moving forward. To that end, we've taken seriously the concerns expressed by this body, by the community at large, and that's why we've engaged these consultants to help us walk through these next steps. We understand there hasn't really been sufficient oversight in the governance practices and how it's been run, and we're looking to get some recommendations on how to make those changes and bring BOPA into the future. We're fully committed to the accountability that the body and the residents of Baltimore deserve, and specifically our arts community that looks to BOPA for guidance, support, and for a robust, place to express themselves as artists. Towards that end, we're finalizing a series of recommendations from this government's committee. That committee was made up of individual stakeholders from amongst the arts community. Also, Tanya has been a part of those conversations as well and has been a great resource to helping us understand our path forward. And we're hoping to deliver those, and we expect to deliver those before the Christmas holiday and as we really get into the holiday swing. We recognize the reality that given the current board rotations and some members running off at the end of this year, we will likely need to appoint a roster of interim board members, identifying individuals from the artistic community, those that are related to the city council, and who can help us implement the recommendations that are coming out of this report on an interim basis for probably 1 to 2 years. This will kind of, again, free us up to move it into the next chapter, move the board into a new chapter of accountability and responsibility, both to the city, to the arts community, and, to the residents at large. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Chavez? Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The recommendations that are going to be produced prior to the end of the calendar year, those are being delivered from the consultant to the board, is that correct?
That's correct.
Would it be possible for those to be shared with the council when they are or shortly after they are presented to the board?
Yeah, it's our intent to review them and then deliver them to city council as both the recommendations they're making and then our understanding of next steps to implement those recommendations.
And those next steps will be included in what the consultant provides, essentially an a la carte menu of options. Here's recommendation A, here's what we think you need to do to accomplish recommendation A.
Yeah, my understanding is that we'll be getting a list of recommendations, much like an a la carte. Here are the priorities that we think this board should take to restructure its governance. And the hope is that the board will review that. And again, speaking kind of on the capacity that we'll be reaching, we'll be 3 board members at the end of the year, right? So we're going to need to seriously consider an interim. And that we'll work with that interim group. And then we want to work in collaboration with the city to look at those recommendations, those next steps, and find a best way forward to implement.
Got it. So the first ask is, would you please provide those as soon as you receive those to the committee?
Yep.
Second, would you send us something in writing prior to that, which outlines who's on the board, which roles they have, which board seats are open or will be becoming vacant by the end of the year? Kind of lay it all out for us.
Yep, correct. Yeah, we'll send that summary.
Great, thank you. Council Vice President Middleton?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and pardon my laryngitis that I've been having since Wednesday. Has your website been updated, or is that a continual thing?
In relation to the board structure and governance, or just the website in general?
The website in general.
I'll turn that over to Todd to respond.
Yes, the website's updated on a daily basis.
Okay.
The board minutes will be approved for our last board meeting, at our board meeting tomorrow. Then they will be uploaded, but yes, we've been constantly on that.
Okay. And then the last question, do you have planned, of course, partnerships are very important, but my interest is partnerships with Baltimore City Public Schools, not just the colleges, our surrounding schools, and kind of trying to implement a program with, middle school, high school students in the future.
I think that's so important. The role of BOPA should be an educational driver, and we have a scholastic program. We have a whole dedicated staff person that does outreach to youth. We need to expand that. I think one of my goals for the future is to create a prize that celebrates arts teachers in Baltimore City and really and puts them on a pedestal to what they provide for the city. So I think it's very important, and we need more robust partnerships in that area, and I intend to deliver them.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Stokes?
I just have a comment. I'm glad to hear that some of the parades and program and events that had stopped here in Baltimore City are back on track, and I'm happy to know that. I'm sure the citizens of Baltimore are happy to know that. So thank you for bringing those activities and parades back to Baltimore City. Thank you.
Well, I do have to say, everything we've done is in a partnership with the mayor's office, and so I commend them for working with us and rebuilding that relationship.
Councilwoman Ramos?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. It's been great working with you on getting the book festival up and running, and excited that we'll have it in Waverly. I had a question about, and thank you for taking our concerns very seriously and moving forward on implementation. I really do appreciate that. The governance piece is super important. So 2 questions. One is, your meetings are public, and so sometimes the media is getting some of the news before we do. And I think this goes to Mr. Chair's point about maybe seeing some of those recommendations prior, so that we're not just reading it in the media. So that's just something to consider moving forward. And then the second question is, Artscape is scheduled for August and not its normal July date. Maybe this was discussed already, and I'm sorry if I missed it. But could you let us know why not the regular July date?
We really took into account all the partners and stakeholders, and the mayor's rest of the scheduled events for the summer as well. And this seemed to be the date that worked best for all constituents. So it was decided amongst both the mayor's office, BOPA, and the main cultural institutions right in the Mount Vernon area, that date works the best.
Well, I think it's fine. I was just curious about, what the change is, because typically we don't always have things happening in August because people sort of go away and all of that. But it's the first weekend, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And it's probably a nice lead up to. You could do some really great arts education work leading up to school and stuff like that. So that sounds like a good plan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I just have a question. We talked about partnerships, and I only want to highlight this because the Old Town Football Gators in my district won the national championship just Saturday, 11 and under. So I was wondering, do we highlight that? Those kind of BOPA would be interested in kind of, because them young kids, they should be recognized for that. We don't want to not just let them come to City Hall. That's fine. But is there anything that BOPA can kind of acknowledge what they accomplished? Actually, it was 2 teams that went down there, and one of them did win a national championship.
Historically, when the Ravens won a Super Bowl, BOPA led a parade and was instrumental in that. So, learning about that, I think it would be important that BOPA celebrates youth championships in Baltimore as well. So, I don't have an answer directly how we'll do it, but I think that's something we should definitely support moving forward.
Colleagues, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Chavez, Todd, appreciate it. We do not have a quorum, so we're not going to vote now. We are going to reconvene. You all are not required to come back. What we're going to do is we are going to reconvene for 3:55 p.m. today with the hope that we will have a quorum of the committee present for the 4 p.m. Committee of the Whole meeting around local control. If we have that quorum available at 3:55, we'll vote then. We will work with the council president to put that hearing into recess if the quorum shows up halfway through. And our backup plan will be to reconvene for Monday, December 18th at 2:45 p.m. prior to the 3 p.m. city council meeting so that we can double read this on Monday, December 18th, pending it getting through committee. So for now, this hearing will be reconvened for 3:55 p.m. today for a voting session. One last thing, before we recess. Is there any public testimony from anyone present today? Seeing as there is none, we are now in recess. Thank you. We're going to get started. We're doing another hearing first, which is a continuation from this morning. Baltimore City Council Ways and Means Committee, we're here for Council Bill 23-0452, Supplemental General Fund Operating Appropriation, Mayoralty-Related Arts and Culture in the amount of $581,334. Eric Costello, Councilman from the 11th District, Chair of the Committee, joined by Council Vice President Sharon Green Middleton, 6th District Member of the Committee, Councilwoman Danny McCray, 2nd District Member of the Committee, Councilman Robert Stokes, 12th District Vice Chair of the Committee, Councilman Ryan Dorsey, 3rd District Member of the Committee. Also joining us are Councilwoman Odette Ramos, 14th District, Councilman John Bullock, 9th District, Councilman Mark Conway, 4th District, Council President Nick Mosby, Councilwoman Felicia Porter, 10th District, representatives from Mayor Scott's office and Council President Mosby's office. To my immediate left is staff to the committee, Marguerite Curran. We held a hearing earlier today on the supplemental appropriation. There was no public testimony. Colleagues, is there a motion to move the bill favorably? Motion by Stokes, is there a second? Second by Vice President Middleton. Costello is a yes. Burnett is absent. Dorsey?
Mr. Chair, I remain dissatisfied with BOPA. I will just say briefly that I respect that they are getting a consultant to help them with board development, but I don't need a consultant to tell me what I have said all along, that their board needs to be made up 50% of cultural producers from Baltimore City. Actual artists need to make up 50% of their board, and they've made no progress on this. And I believe it's necessary to have those people at the table before they rewrite their bylaws, which they are apparently doing concurrent with their hiring of a consultant for board development, which means that those artists are not at the table while they write their bylaws. This is not okay with me. I vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. McCray? Yes. Middleton? Yes. Schleifer's absent. Stokes? Yes. This bill passes, moves to second reader on Monday, December 18th, or the next meeting of the City Council, and is intended to be double read at that meeting. Thank you. We're now in recess.